I'm John, and welcome back to the Patriots Group Chat Podcast. We got a few things to cover from this past week, some interesting things, some funny things, and let's just get right into it. So this past week was the Met Gala, and if you're anything like me, you have no idea what goes on in there. What I do know is people dress up in the most absurd outfits we've ever seen. And this year, one of those people was Patriots wide receiver Stephon Diggs, wearing what I can only describe as a magnificent, and that's how I would describe it. I kind of messed with the red boots, I'm not gonna lie. I think he made them work. Now, this is nowhere near the most ridiculous thing we've seen somebody wear to the Met Gala. But there were some interesting thoughts on it in the Twitter community. And let's just get one thing straight about this podcast. I'm always going to refer to it as Twitter. I'm not gonna call it X, it's a dumb name. And I'm gonna stand on that. A few of the responses were pretty funny. We had a lot of people saying he looked like the king from Coming to America. We got a good Seinfeld GIF response from Jim Crook. This guy just tagged PETA. Uncle E says, OMG, we're gonna suck again. And he used an asterisk to censor the word suck. And below that, you'll notice I'm not gay saying facts. Drake May is Mac Jones 2.0. So I think we know we don't have to take this guy seriously. Speaking of him, his response to the original tweet is he has relations with Cardi B. She dropped an album, so it's obvious he will drop passes. And you coming from an injury posing, get ready, all caps. All right. So go ahead and mute this guy. This guy says, could slow down his route running. That's a great point. We got Jason. Is it a freak wearing an effing dress? What about a woman's bra and panties? Ha ha. Now somebody retweeted this one. Yeah, the retweet is a bot. So that checks out. A much more interesting thing that happened is the Patriots released what appears to be a trailer for a series called Forged in Foxborough. So I'm actually pretty pumped up about this. It seems like the Patriots' personal take on Hard Knocks, which honestly seems pretty sick, like getting behind the scenes stories about the players, the coaches. It's just more storylines, it's more stuff to talk about, honestly, and that's 80% of what we do as fans. Another interesting thing that happened this week on Twitter is Scout D NFL made a wager with Kurt Benkert. And if you're familiar with Kurt Benkert, he's the guy who said that Drake May was essentially Mason Rudolph, which, first of all, is an insane thing to say. No disrespect to Kurt. He got closer to the NFL than any of us did. I know all the jokes about having negative passing yards. The dude obviously knows something about football, but honestly, I've seen some takes from him that I thought were pretty bad. But this is the worst one. And you can call me biased. I guess we're all biased here, but Mason Rudolph is just an absurd person to compare him to. Anyway, Scout D NFL, who has been a big supporter of Drake May, put together a wager based on the stats that he will accrue in the 2025 season. And what it's basically going to end up looking like is over under 3,825 passing yards, over under 22 passing touchdowns, and over under 10 interceptions. Basically, they have those three categories, and it's like if one of them gets two of the three right, that person wins the wager. Now, Kurt did respond, and he agreed to it. He did have a small stipulation, which was that he wanted to change it to total turnovers, not just interceptions. I think he just wants to include fumbles. He did say he thinks the Pats are a fringe playoff team, so he's not completely disrespecting the team. He's just not a fan of Drake May. So for all the Kurt haters who I, from time to time, have considered myself a part of, Kurt did do it. He did agree to do it. He's backing up his take. He's standing on it. So you have to at least respect that. So that'll be an interesting thing just to keep your eye on, track it yourself throughout the season, but I'm sure that they will be updating it as we go. If you do not follow Scout D NFL, he is an amazing follow. Really, really good insight, especially around draft season. And he, on a plus side, is a massive Drake May fan. So if you want more Drake May propaganda on your timeline, give this guy a follow. That's just Scout D NFL. Bry Talks Pats asked, are the Patriots wild card contender as currently constructed? First response said, all depends on Will Campbell. If he's a top 15 left tackle, I'd say yeah. No reason 9-8 can't be on the table. If Campbell's a mess, it's another 4-6 win season. I don't know that I would agree with that take. Like, I don't think the entire season is gonna hinge on left tackle. Drake May showed that he can do some decent stuff without having a left tackle. Now, you can point to his record as a starter, but I would argue that the rest of the roster construction was pretty bad besides just the offensive line. Like, offensive line wasn't the only problem. Our defensive line was terrible. Our linebackers were atrocious. Our wide receivers were mid at best. All of those things have been upgraded, and on top of that, we have another good running back. So yes, I'd say that it's pretty important for Will Campbell to have a good season, but I don't know that it's like a 5-win swing. Most of the other responses kind of saying the same thing. You know, on paper, we look like we could be a fringe playoff team, as Kurt put it. Some people are pretty confident. Seth Main says, we are division winner contenders too. Buffalo's still gonna be tough to get through. I'm not totally ready to jump on the hype train of like, yeah, we're playoff contenders immediately, but I don't think that a wild card spot is completely out of the realm of possibility. Pete.Garofolo says no, but they're definitely getting there. Should be a fun season. That's probably the safest angle to take at this point. Just don't expect them to be super good. Just kind of have fun with a young quarterback, a great couple of wide receivers, assuming that Kyle Williams pans out and that Stephon Diggs is not over the hill. So like there's the potential that we could be really good and really fun. There's also the potential that we could be mid, but I would say I would be shocked if we are like a less than 5 or 6 wins team. Like that to me is not likely to happen. And a couple other people mentioning something that is important too, the schedule. So schedule release coming soon. As usual, the NFL making it a whole big event. Other than that, rookie mini camp has started, so we're starting to get, some pictures, some videos trickling in. Always an exciting time of year. I don't know about you guys, but I am itching for football. Summer camp, OTAs cannot come soon enough for me. Speaking of rookies, we did have the rookie numbers announced, and seemed like most of the focus was on the number chosen for or by Braden Swinson, number 43. Kind of an odd number for his position. Paul said, why y'all gotta do Braden wrong? Somebody tell me in the comments if the team picks the rookie numbers or if the rookies pick their numbers. Because I remember Belichick picking a weird number for Mac Jones, and there was a couple other instances, I believe. As far as I know, rookies pick their own numbers, so I would be really curious to understand why Braden Swinson picked 43. To Devin's point, a single-digit number would definitely look better for an edge rusher, which is interesting because that's kind of that's a newer thing, really. Edge rushers, I feel used to always be in the 90s, I'm thinking about Julius Peppers. That's the first person who comes to mind. But single-digit numbers has become a thing and would probably look better for him. Christopher says number 18 needs to be retired, which is an interesting take. I'm part of me wants to agree with that and be yeah, dude, Matthew Slater was so important to this organization. One of the best special teamers of all time, period, I think. But that kind of gets into the conversation of what makes a number worth retiring. I mean, his list of accolades, pretty impressive. 3-time Super Bowl champion, 2-time first team All-Pro, 3-time second team All-Pro, 10-time Pro Bowler, Bart Starr Award winner, Art Rooney Award winner, Patriots All-Dynasty team, Patriots All-2010s team. He's got a legit resume, especially for a special teamer. You don't see a lot of special teamers do that. Now, does that justify a jersey retirement? I don't know. I think every organization takes a different approach. I mean, we just saw this with Julio Jones' number being given to Jalen Walker. You think about what Julio Jones meant to the Falcons organization, you'd be oh snap, yeah, you should retire his number. I mean, it's not a question if Matthew Slater will be in the Patriots Hall of Fame, but I don't know if I see realistically them ever retiring his jersey number. And that's, again, not a disrespect to him in the slightest. Patriots Hall of Fame, boom. I don't know if you could make an NFL Hall of Fame argument. It's kind of tough with a special teamer. But for his position group, he is like top 5 all time. So I think that's a pretty reasonable argument to say he's a Hall of Famer. I also saw multiple tweets about people not liking number 36 for our kicker. I guess it's kind of an odd number. It really didn't strike me as like, oh, ew, that's gross. Maybe like when I see him on the field, I might go, oh yeah, I hate that. But just like looking at it, I don't really have an issue with it. Keegan Stifle says, I'd imagine a few of these change once cuts are made. Kyle Williams and Braden Swinson can't be rocking 18 and 43. I would agree with that. Like, I think some of these will change. It is interesting like that they even pick the numbers when a lot of them change them later. Maybe that's something I've just missed, but that's always been interesting to me that that's a thing that people do. Like, just pick the number that you want and stick with it. Like, what, we don't have to do this. And by the way, I would actually have no issue with Kyle Williams rocking number 18. Like, I think it'd be a good look. I don't think, again, it's a disrespect to Matthew Slater. So absolutely love 32 for Henderson. That's perfect. It's his college number. It's a great running back number. I think that one's gonna look good. 19, kind of a weird choice for Kobe Minor. Will Campbell sticking with 66, which that's cool by me. Woodson wearing 31. I think that's a good safety number, so I'm all for that. Other than that, really no thoughts. 92, great number for a defensive tackle. This video of Jalen Polk working on his footwork has recirculated. It originally got posted a couple months ago, but it's kind of been recirculating in the past week or so. We talked about this last time. I like the kid, but I'd be lying if I said he looked great in these. Like, these are just not super impressive. He looks a little slow. I'm not gonna sit here and hate on the kid. He's clearly putting in work and trying to improve, but what I'm seeing with my eyes is not making me super confident that he's gonna be a difference maker. Brian Baldinger also had some comments about Will Campbell. If you do not follow Baldy, go give him a follow. It's at Baldy NFL. Really, really good video breakdowns. Film guy, knows ball. So I just wanted to shout him out real quick because I had this video in my bookmarks. It's nothing necessarily that I want to talk about, but I want to give Baldy a shout out because I'm a big fan. Other than that, pretty quiet week on Patriots Twitter. To be honest, my group chat is filled with a lot of Red Sox and Celtics talk right now. I'm a fan of neither of those teams. So pretty slow week, but still some interesting stuff going on. Also, I'm not going to touch on all the stuff with Belichick and his girlfriend. Plenty of people talking about that. Unless people really specifically want to know my opinion on that, I'm going to just let that play out and let them live their lives. As rookie minicamp continues, I'm sure there will be a lot more stories, clips coming from Foxborough. I will keep you updated on those. Anything interesting, I promise I'll share in case you don't hear it. As always, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, hit that subscribe button, whatever platform you're on, and we'll see you next time.